Cape in the province has long faced a crisis of poverty, healthcare failures and social neglect, with issues like HIV-affected mothers struggling to access food and children in the province dying from malnutrition. Newzroom Afrika has extensively reported on these issues, highlighting the system's gaps and their lasting, devastating impact. Sipha Kema joins us now with the MEC for Social Development. Sipha, good morning. Of course, we heard a few days ago the State of the Province address with the Premier Oscar Mabuyane highlighting how they were going to deal with the ongoing challenges in the province. But you and the rest of our reporting team working in the Eastern Cape, every single day there's another corner of the province that is in deep distress. You're standing by with the MEC for Social Development. So let's take our viewers straight to you and that discussion.
Absolutely, Iman. Thank you. As you mentioned, Iman, over the past few years, the last report in 2023 that was issued by the South African Human Rights Commission looking into the issues surrounding malnutrition in the Eastern Cape, where we saw reports also coming from ACSEC as well, talking about more than 60% of people in the Eastern Cape were living below the poverty line. Also talking about the issues from Gift of the Givers, who have been assisting as well, social development also, and the Eastern Cape government in distributing food parcels. Now, part of the reports by the South African Human Rights Commission noted that between the years of 2021 and 2022, around about 1,000 children had been diagnosed with malnutrition, as well as issues of stunted growth because of the malnutrition. But I'm going to bring in the MEC of Social Development, Ms. Bukiwe Fanta, to tell us more about that. As I know, MEC, you've been saying that the social development is working on plans, has plans in place to try and rectify some of these issues, and also some of the areas that are falling through the cracks, where we have mothers who are struggling, or fathers that are actually struggling to provide.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kema, and your viewers. As social development, we, as government, we are trying our level best with our agents, especially with issue of malnourished kids. We've got SASSA, who's giving our kids grants. We've got NDA, who is also assisting with breakfast packs for those kids that social workers have identified that they've got a problem of malnourished. So those breakfast packs are helping a lot. And also as social development, we are trying our level best of encouraging women to have their own gardens, to have their own development plans, of making sure that we're making use of the gold that we have as a province of land. We've got plenty of land that is lay fallen, but we're encouraging our women to make sure that they've got a project. We're encouraging young people, and we've got funding young people that are having a project of farming. We've got budget for women that are busy doing the issue of land. And also, malnutrition is not only for social development. Dr. Da is a key staker of making sure that we are doing away with poverty in our province.
Mm-hmm. Now, MEC, talking to women who maybe are in the rural parts of the Eastern Cape and they don't have an understanding on how to access all this information or all that you are giving us right now, if they were listening, how do they go about it, accessing assistance other than from SASSA? Because you'd find that some of them only have one child, and that 500 and something cannot provide for the entire family that they have. How then do they go about accessing the food parcels? How do they access the NDA coming to them to acknowledge that they're part of the indigent homes or those that are living below poverty line?
We've got a very good program that we have adopted of ICROP, of visiting all our local municipalities, working together. In that ICROP, all government departments are there to make sure that if one has been identified, if doesn't have an ID, because most of the time our people doesn't have identification documents, birth certificates for kids, as a result they suffer. So that iCrop is helping us, that all of us as government were there. If we have identified a child with no ID or birth certificate, Home Affairs is there to make sure that that child is registered so that is able to access a grant. So working with the DDM approach of working with also municipalities, our service offices are opened. SASSA now, because of this grant problem, they're opening now from 7 to 5 o'clock every day to make sure that our people are able to access our grants and access our offices so that we cut the issue of poverty in our province.
All right, so thank you so much, MSC. Now, Iman, we will be speaking to the NDA to talk about where people can access assistance and food should they need be, as the department wants to work towards combating the issue, or rather curbing the issue of malnutrition and poverty in the Eastern Cape. Now, let's listen to one of the parents. Now, there was an incident in Motherwell where a young boy had died after he went rummaging through dustbins with his father in Blue Water Bay as a means to get food so that they can have food on the table as a family of 10. This is how they went about on Tuesdays when the refuse was let out before collection. Let's hear what he had to say.
It all started last year when we were losing our jobs. Then things go. We don't have income, we don't have nothing here. So every Tuesday, we go to Blue Waters Bay. People put out bags, the black bags. So we go and searching for food, whatever we find, we bring home to eat. But this Tuesday when we go, we found black bags there on the corner of a corner house. And LT found her drink there between the black bags. And he drank it.
Now, Iman, malnutrition and poverty are just some of the other issues. Now, one of the other issues that we reported on was the shortages of beds and not having enough state-owned rehab facilities in the Eastern Cape. And as a result, now parents and family members, out of desperation, have opted to take their loved ones to unregulated or illegal rehab facilities, where we see some of those that have been, some of the former drug users, or rather family members, are chained, and this shows inhumane conditions. Now, I'm going to quickly bring in the MEC just so that she could tell us some of the solutions that they have as a department regarding this, because it is a long-standing problem, MEC, issues of having only one rehab facility in the entire province. Now, drugs are a major crisis.
Thank you, Kema. There are 3 that are government related. And we've got also 35 NPOs that are funded by us. We've got one in Nes Mandela, NS Mahas, that were taking boys and girls by groups. And we've got one in BCM, and we've got one in OR Tambo. As government, I think what is critical is for us is to make sure that our kids are not going to drugs. That's our major thing. Hence, we emphasize the issue of families. We're strengthening families. We are making sure that children are at school, they are fed, they've got nutrition, they've got books. And we've got drug master plans where one has been identified as got that problem. So in all our districts, we've got those drug master plans that we have introduced so that we deal with the issue of drugs, so that our kids, they are not going to rehabilitations.
All right, thank you so much. Iman, that's the MEC talking about the issues of bed shortages when it comes to rehab facilities in the Eastern Cape, and that there are plans in place and NPOs that they're working together now so that there aren't any issues relating to bed shortages. For now, it's back to you in studio.